space?
Yeah, that's a good question. So first, I would say, hopefully, as a little element of hope for individuals, we were worried that going from a 1 minute to 3 minute commercial, which would take a whole lot of pre-production and a whole lot of collaboration, and they were honestly quite difficult to do, and we were limited to how many we could do in a year just because it was so tiring for the team. We were worried that going to a feature film was going to be like 80 or 90 of those piled together, right? It was like, man, I don't know if we can survive this, right? And so doing our first feature film, we were actually pleasantly surprised that it actually wasn't like 80 or 90 times the amount of effort. It actually felt like the exact same amount of effort that we put into one commercial. The only difference was we now had 30 days of shooting versus 3 days of shooting. But what was actually kind of nice was each day of shooting got easier and easier because we had the same vision and the same team and the same direction. And so it kind of kept getting easier and easier. And actually editing was, in some of these cases, like, compared to some of the commercial work that we did, some of the editing was actually easier. We were able to pull together our feature film in 3 months of editing, and that's usually what we would have on some of the bigger commercial productions. So that was kind of a relief for us in that transition. Now, market-wise or competition-wise, it's an interesting landscape. When we got into it, we were getting into it 2019. We knew that doing a feature film was going to cost more money than a commercial typically would. And so we wanted to solidify how are we going to make our money back from it. And so we had connected with a distributor, and we basically talked to that distributor and said, hey, what kind of movies do you need right now for the clients that you're doing distribution to? And they said, oh, we need a romance movie. And we said, cool, let's write a romance movie. We want to bring the script back to you and get your feedback and make sure it's something you can sell, right? And so we actually came back with the script, and the individual was the distribution company was able to get back and say, hey, that's a little too funny. We're not looking for a rom-com. We're looking for a romance movie. There's a big difference. And it was like, oh, okay. So we were able to go back, take out some of the humor, change the characters a bit. There were some elements where we tried to be a little too creative, and it was like, no. You have to keep in mind, the person watching this is also cooking, food at the same time. So you can't get too creative because they're going to get lost. They have to be able to look up from what they're cooking and know exactly what's going on in the plot. So you do have to kind of follow the formula. It's like, okay, cool. So we went back and we did those changes.